Welcome back, artists. As we know, it's May, and May is right in the middle of springtime. And a lot of times during this time of year, you will see birds having babies. So the birds will lay eggs in their nest, and then little eggs will hatch. And sometimes in your yard, you might find those little blue robin's eggs. So it's a really cool time of year. I was actually sitting out in my backyard yesterday, and I saw a bird's nest up in the tree. And I noticed that the birds were making their nests not just out of sticks, but they were actually finding little pieces of kind of like garbage things that they found in the yard that were like bright colored, and they were actually adding that to their nests. So what we're going to do for our project this week is we are going to create a bird's nest. All right, so let's learn how to do it. All right, guys, to create our bird's nest, what we are going to need is we're going to need a piece of paper. You are going to need some found objects. So by found objects, I mean things that you would find outside that birds would actually use to make a nest. So I have some sticks, I have some little pieces of grass, I have some old leaves, and then I actually added in a few different things. Like I said, those birds were actually picking up kind of little pieces of garbage and adding them, being creative and making their nest look even cooler by adding them. So I actually found some really cool little things like these little feathers, a little piece of yarn, and a little piece of pipe cleaner. I'm going to add those to my nest too to make it look a little bit cooler. All right, so you're going to need that stuff. Also, you're going to need a pencil. You're going to need some glue, and then you're going to need something to color in. So you can use crayons or watercolor paint or markers or anything you have at home to kind of color in your eggs and your chicks if you want to add them to your bird's nest. All right, so let's get started. All right, to create our bird's nest, we're going to start by drawing out the nest, the eggs, and the chicks if you want to add chicks to your bird's nest as well. Now, some of you guys at home might not have those found objects, those sticks or those little pieces of garbage that we're going to add to our bird's nest. If you do not have that stuff, it's no big deal. You are just going to draw your entire bird's nest. So you'll draw your sticks and you'll draw your objects that you want to add to it. For everyone else who is going to add those objects, you're going to end up gluing those on top of what I'm about to draw. So I'm going to show you how to draw it now. So to start, we're going to draw our nest. What we're going to do to make our nest is you are going to draw an oval. I'm going to start by drawing an oval, nice and big in the middle of your paper, just like that. And then you're going to draw the kind of bottom of your nest. So it's going to look kind of like a bowl. So you're going to draw a bowl, and that's going to act as our nest. Now this is just going to kind of be our outline. Like I said, if you're not going to glue those found objects on, you would go in and draw your sticks now. So you can go ahead and draw sticks. So I could draw those in there. They can come out. They won't be perfect. You could add anything like that. So you would draw all of your objects now. For everyone else, we're going to end up gluing those on top of this after. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our chicks, our eggs and our chicks to our nest. So first thing that I'm going to add is I am going to add a couple eggs. So eggs are easy. We know how to draw an egg. Draw a nice big oval kind of like that. So we just add a couple eggs into our nest. They don't have to be perfect. We're going to draw a lot of eggs actually. And maybe you don't want to just add eggs. Maybe you want to actually draw a chick in there too. So if you want to draw a chick, you could draw, I would start with the beak first. So I'm going to draw the little beak. Then I'll draw its head. And when I draw a chick, I always draw it with lines like this. So it looks like little, their feathers actually look kind of like fur when they're really little like that. So I'm going to actually draw my chick sitting in my bird's nest. Maybe I'll draw his, you can see his legs a little bit too. Give him a little eye. But it's up to you, whatever you want to add into your bird's nest. All right, so I'm going to go ahead in and I'm going to trace those with Sharpie real quick so that way they stand out. And then I'll show you the next step. All right, so once you've drawn all of your things and traced them, you're going to be ready to add some color to yours as well. Remember, I drew a chick and I drew those eggs. You do not have to do that. You could just draw some eggs. You could draw chicks. You could draw birds. You could draw it however you want. So you're the artist. You're in charge. I want you to make it look exactly how you want it to look. All right, so I'm just going to color mine in really quick. I'm going to make my chick yellow. Nice little orange beak. And then I'm going to color my eggs in. I said robin's eggs, so I'm going to color them in kind of like those robin's eggs, maybe like a blue. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of shading to the areas where there isn't anything. Oh, my crayon broke. It'll still work. Just to kind of make it look like there's a little bit of depth to your bird's nest. All right. After that, if you are drawing your bird's nest, go ahead. You would keep doing the same thing. So trace over all of your all your sticks that you drew, and then color all of that in. If you're going to add your found objects, now what you're going to do is you're going to start taking your pieces and arranging them wherever you want them. So I'm going to start adding some glue to my bird's nest, and then I'm just going to start gluing those objects down. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of do that all now, and just watch while I'm doing it, and see kind of where I'm putting them, how I'm putting them on, and how I'm attaching them. And then you guys can go ahead and do it for yourself. All right, guys, so there is my finished bird's nest. You're going to put this somewhere now to let it dry. The glue's going to take a little while to dry, at least an hour or so. When you're done, if you wanted to go in and add other details, you could always add a branch maybe. You could add some background like a sky or other birds flying around. Really anything you want to do to make yours look more creative. All right? Good luck. Have fun. I can't wait to see what you guys create.